It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. It's Football Friday. Welcome to another episode here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Of course, our daily mission is to bring you news that you can use. Our social media handles for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all at the Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network, and our website is obnradio.com. We have a 24-hour dial-in message line that's available, 713-570-6736. And without any further delay, we'll jump right into today's episode. Well, it is Football Friday. A lot of football news has come out on the week. Big Ten, then the Pac-12, now the ACC has triggered the move of the SEC. Big 12 still figuring things out. But the ultimate thing that we should point out here
Everybody ain't your friend. Everybody ain't your partner.
is that COVID is truly the dictator of what will and what will not be. People in arms about the SEC's decision to push back the 2020 campaign to September 26 weekend. People are actually in disbelief, but that's to each his own. Amazing that people are still hoping and believing very much so that we will have some form of fall sports, mainly in particular that of football. We took a poll, and 53% of you that participated in the poll believe that there will be some form of fall sports for 2020. I would love to see how that works out. We're going to hear right now the Southland report from Mr. Rob Butler, and we'll be back with more of the Mike Prince Show on Football Friday.
This is Rob Butler with your Southland report. While some conferences have either scrapped their fall football season or gone to a conference-only schedule, Tom Burnett, who begins his 18th year as the Southland Conference Commissioner, said the league expects to play a full football schedule during the league's virtual media day last week via Zoom. He said, quote, "The opening game, again, is less than 5 weeks away in Week 0, with Central Arkansas opening up the season against Austin Peay on ESPN, and that will be followed up with what we think will be a full slate of games on Labor Day weekend," close quote. That Labor Day weekend slate of games includes Abilene Christian at Texas A&M and Tarleton State in its Division I FCS debut at Sam Houston State, both on September 5th. Obviously, the Abilene Christian at A&M game is in limbo if the SEC opts for a conference-only schedule, which seems like a foregone conclusion at this point. Of course, it's a fluid situation with the COVID-19 pandemic, and Burnett said it remains a challenging situation that the league's university presidents and athletic directors have been grappling with since mid-March. Burnett said the league is taking several factors in consideration when it comes to playing sports in the fall, including the local impact in each school's town. 5 Southland Conference teams did lose football games this season. When the SWAC announced last week it was canceling all fall sports this season, Nicholls State and Sam Houston State both were scheduled to play Mississippi Valley State September 5th and September 12th, respectively, while Stephen F. Austin lost its game against Alabama A&M on September 5th. Houston Baptist also was scheduled to play Texas Southern on September 19th, and Northwestern State was scheduled to play Prairie View A&M October 3rd. Central Arkansas plays Missouri on September 5th, while Incarnate Word goes to Baylor September 19th, and Nicholls goes to LSU October 3rd, and other important matchups with FBS foes. Houston Baptist plays North Texas on September 5th, and they recently added Louisiana Tech for September 19th, and Stephen F. Austin plays SMU September 12th, while Lamar plays Rice on September 26th. Should the SEC or Big 12 decide to play conference-only schedules, then it would have a big impact on the Southland Conference. The SWAC is one of 6 FCS leagues that have canceled fall sports, some opting for football in the spring instead. The National Junior College Athletic Association also has postponed football until the spring. Burnett, however, said the Southland won't be influenced by what the other SCS leagues do. And that's Rob Butler, Open Mic Broadcast Network.
And thank you so much, Mr. Butler, for doing, as usual, a fantastic job on reporting on life in the Southland Conference. Now, you heard throughout the report that some Southland schools had to fill in some games that they had against SWAC opponents. And I know that Burnett, who's been at the commissioner's seat for 18 years with the Southland Conference, he refuses to accept no, which he has every right as the leader to continue to look at all the options. But when you look all around you, FCS, Division II, Division III, and recently the NAIA has just shut everything down. Junior college, NJCAA, have shut things down. It's just a matter of time. But it was very interesting. We know that La Tech burned up the PV communication lines this past week with the statement that came from Mr. Tommy McClellan that they were going to reach out to Prairie View for the $500,000. But of course, those who may not have the opportunity, we had him on the show here this week. Go back and check that out. He recanted on that, admittingly that he got a little bit ahead of the game before he understood the actual circumstances of what was going on. But back to the Southland situation, Houston Baptist ends up replacing Prairie View for the September 19th game against La Tech. It all appears to be academic because with the latest moves from the SEC conference games only, more than likely other conferences will try to adopt that policy as they steadily try to figure this thing out. But neither here nor there, Southland opponents lost 5 games against SWAC opponents. Mississippi Valley had a couple of games against Sam Houston and I want to say Nicholls State, but nonetheless, they've all been replaced. And speaking of replacing, what do you do if you're a senior in any of these conferences that have shut down? Do you try to come back for your senior year? Or do you go ahead, take advantage of getting ahead in your lesson, receive your degree, and start off with your professional career in life? You would think that after close consideration, true self-analysis, that A, if you were a pro prospect, why come back? B, if you're not a pro prospect, why come back? There was a mention of a Division III program that canceled football, and they asked a couple of seniors would they consider coming back to get that final year of eligibility in. Well, what a lot of people may or may not be aware of is that Division III does not offer scholarships. And this was a private school that these student athletes were attending, and it cost $72,000 a year to attend this particular university. So if an individual wanted to come back and play football with a D3 program that does not offer scholarships, they would have to come out of pocket with an additional $72,000. I don't think it's worth it. So a lot of tough decisions to be made, and we've only just begun. Meanwhile, you may have got a chance to check out Mr. Lamar Daniels of Lord's University, the Gray Wolves, and their esports program. This has been totally fascinating to me about how all of this works. From outside looking in, it appears that the smaller institutions are a little bit more vested in this esports at this time than the larger institutions. The larger institutions have it almost like a club sport, while The smaller institutions are actually recruiting and providing scholarships for these players to compete. We'll definitely keep a close eye on that to see how things develop. But truly fascinating to me.
I'd like to recognize sponsors. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street in Hempstead, Texas. Their phone number is 979-826-8008. Diva Skin Conditioner, located at divafeet.com, D-I-V-A-H feet.com. Their phone number, 903-270-0026. Prairie View Athletic Club, serving student athletes since 1986. Their phone number is 936-857-5817. Temple of Refuge Ministries, located in Prairie View, Texas, at 45372 Old Highway 290. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, several locations to serve you. Katy, Rosenberg, Brenham, Bryan, College Station, and Waller, Texas. Their phone numbers, toll-free, 855-391-2149. If you or your business would like to be a part of the sponsorship team here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, contact us at 832-213-8824. I
want to remind you guys that the Mike Prince Show, by way of the Open Mic Broadcast Network, comes to you each and every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time is our quote-unquote scheduled release time. We come live on Sundays, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, we have Miss Sonia Stamps with She Say Sports. She has a very interesting guest on today. Young lady who's a linebacker for a women's football program, the Mississippi Panthers. Be sure you want to check that out. And, of course, we have the legendary Mr. Carlos Brown, who comes live Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. With the restructure of everything, fall is going to be empty. How would one fill that void? It's going to be very, very interesting, creative. There are talks about starting spring football on the FCS level. I personally don't see the worth of trying to extend that and to turn around and a couple of months later you'll be starting a new fall campaign. I think just regroup, count up your costs, revamp some things, and come out for the 2021 campaign. And if you're a SWAC fan, you know what that 2021 campaign will bring the addition of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the FAMU Rattlers. And speaking of the FAMU Rattlers, you do not want to miss our Sunday Night Live edition. We have scheduled to be with us none other than Shotgun Willie Simmons, head football coach of the FAMU Rattlers. Prairie View A&M University Athletic Department, under the new leadership of Dr. Donald Reed, just about at the 2-week window of him being at the driver's seat. It'll actually be 2 weeks on Wednesday. And we had a chance to speak with him on Sunday. A lot of moving parts, a lot of things coming at him at one time. We'll keep you abreast of the developments that go on throughout the Prairie View A&M University camp, as well as the rest of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. I want to remind you guys, these are challenging times. And in challenging times like this, we, as supporters of HBCU sports, have to step up. We must step up and support our local institutions and the conference if at all possible. They really need us right now. And you'll be amazed if a few people put their heads together and say we can make this happen. You can do some powerful things. 1876 is the founding year of my beloved Prairie View A&M University Panthers. And if you were to commit $18.76 a month to help undergird Panthers athletics. That comes out to $225.12 a year. If we were to get 1,500 people nationwide to commit to that, you would have over $400,000 that could make a huge impact on Panthers athletics. You can imagine that at Jackson State, FAMU, whatever that founding year is, multiplied by a monthly commitment of 12. And you can make a massive movement to impact and sustain your beloved institution and the conference. We know the conference was founded 1920, and to celebrate the 100-year anniversary, could you imagine if 1,500 people times 10, well, actually times 12, if you want to count the SWAC newest members, FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, if you were to count up that cost, that would give you 18,000 people committed to $100 one-time annual gift toward the conference. We're talking about $1.8 million. That is a statement. That could go an extremely long way. That is stepping up to the plate. That is making it happen. We have a lot of pride throughout this conference, and deservedly so. What greater time to step up to the plate and undergird our beloved institutions and the conferences. Let's get together. Let's make that happen. I am going to exit stage left. My time is far spent, and I must come to an end. I want to thank you guys once again for joining with us throughout the entire week, sharing our stories, sharing our site, supporting, and all the things that you do to help this open mic platform continue to have legs. We cannot do it without you, and we're not going to try to do it without you. Again, thank you, and thank you. I've got to go. My time is far spent. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As always, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.